We'll do anything for the job. Two alien women prove it on their knees and back. The desperate interview. The glass elevator climbed through the clouds, carrying Zara and Lyra Voss toward a future that felt as fragile as morning frost. Below them, New Singapore's lights sparkled like scattered diamonds across the Pacific, but the twin ambassadors from Meridia could only think of the dying fields back home. Remember, Zara whispered to her sister, adjusting the formal diplomatic sash across her shoulder. We smile, we stay confident, and we don't mention how desperate we really are. Lyra nodded, her fingers trembling slightly as she smoothed her identical uniform. They looked like mirror images, same copper-toned skin, same dark eyes flecked with gold, same determination carved into features that had seen too much hardship for their 28 years. The elevator doors opened onto the executive floor of Chen Industries, where floor-to-ceiling windows framed the sunset like a painting. A receptionist led them through corridors that hummed with quiet power until they reached the corner office. Marcus Chen stood with his back to them, silhouetted against the vast cityscape. When he turned, Zara felt her breath catch, not from intimidation, but from the unexpected warmth in his eyes. He was younger than she'd imagined, maybe 35, with an easy smile that contradicted the sharp business suit. "Ambassador Voss," he said, then his gaze shifted. "And Ambassador Voss. This will be interesting." "We prefer Zara and Lyra, Mr. Chen," Zara said, extending her hand. His grip was firm, respectful. "Then call me Marcus." He gestured to the seating area. "I've read your proposal 17 times. Your world needs this partnership." "Yes," Lyra said quietly. "Our people are counting on us." Marcus studied them both, something unreadable crossing his face. "Then let's talk about what partnership really means. Because I don't believe in half measures, and I suspect neither do you."
An unexpected proposal. Marcus poured 3 glasses of water from a crystal pitcher, the silence stretching between them like a hell breath. When he finally spoke, his words weren't what either sister expected. "I've turned down 12 other planets this year," he said, settling into the chair across from them. All had better resources, stronger economies, more to offer. But none of them sent ambassadors who looked me in the eye the way you two just did. Zara felt hope flicker in her chest. "Then you'll consider our proposal?" "I'll do better than consider it." Marcus leaned forward, elbows on his knees. "But I need to know this alliance will last. Too many treaties collapse because the people signing them never truly understand each other. So here's my offer. Spend 1 week with me and my team. Not as ambassadors, as partners. Work alongside us. Live in our world. Let us see yours through your eyes." Lyra's voice was barely above a whisper. "And if we fail this test?" "You won't fail," Marcus said with surprising certainty. "You'll either prove we're compatible, or we'll discover we're not. Either way, we'll know the truth." He stood, moving to the window. "I leave for the Singapore summit tomorrow at dawn. 6 days of negotiations, cultural exchanges, and crisis management. Come with me. Show me what Meridian dedication really means." Zara and Lyra exchanged glances, having perfected silent communication over 2 decades of sisterhood. This wasn't what they prepared for, but desperation had taught them flexibility. "We accept," Zara said, rising to her feet. "When do we start?" Marcus turned, and for the first time, they saw something beyond the businessman, a loneliness that mirrored their own, a hunger for genuine connection in a world of calculated transactions. "Tonight," he said, "pack light, and prepare for everything you think you know about partnerships to change."
Working side by side. The summit proved to be a beautiful chaos. Over the next 3 days, Zara found herself translating cultural nuances between 4 different species while Lyra managed logistics that would have broken a less organized mind. Marcus worked alongside them, not above them, his jacket discarded by day 2, sleeves rolled up as they all survived on coffee and determination. On the 4th night, exhaustion finally caught up with them. The hotel suite's common area had become their war room, covered in data tablets and half-empty cups. Marcus sat on the floor, back against the couch, reviewing contracts. Zara collapsed beside him, close enough that their shoulders touched. "You didn't tell us you'd be doing the grunt work too," she said softly. He smiled without looking up. "Would you have believed me?" Probably not. She watched his profile in the lamplight, the concentration creasing his brow, the gentle way he handled even the smallest details. Most humans in your position would have assistants for this. Most humans in my position are lonely, Marcus said quietly, finally meeting her eyes. They surround themselves with employees instead of equals. I tried that for 5 years. It nearly destroyed me. Lyra emerged from her room, reading glasses perched on her nose, carrying another stack of documents. She paused, seeing them sitting so close, and something unspoken passed between the sisters. Permission, understanding, encouragement. I'm making tea, Lyra announced. Marcus, Zara says your world has a ceremony for it. In some cultures, he said, but his gaze hadn't left Zara's. Teach me. Lyra asked, her tone deliberately giving them space. As Lyra and Marcus moved to the kitchenette, talking softly about water temperatures and leaf varieties, Zara felt something shift in the room, not tension breaking, but walls coming down, revealing the vulnerable humans beneath their professional armor.
Breaking barriers. The crisis came on the 5th morning. News feeds exploded with reports of a trade vessel caught in disputed territory between 3 hostile factions. Meridian's flag flew on that ship, carrying the last harvest of medical herbs their people desperately needed. Marcus found both sisters in the communications center, Zara's hand shaking as she tried to reach the captain, while Lyra coordinated with distant authorities who couldn't care less about a struggling planet's problems. Let me help, Marcus said quietly, placing a hand on Zara's shoulder. This isn't your fight, she whispered, tears threatening to break through her composure. We've already asked too much of you. Stop. His voice was firm but gentle. He knelt beside her chair, taking both her hands in his. These 4 days, watching you both work until exhaustion, seeing how much you care about every single person on your world. Do you really think I could walk away now? Lyra looked up from her console, hope and fear warring in her expression. Marcus, if you intervened, it could damage your other alliances. Then they weren't worth having. He stood, pulling out his personal communicator. I know someone who owes me a favor. A big one. The next 2 hours blurred together. Marcus calling in connections from across 3 systems, Zara translating complex negotiations in real time, Lyra managing a logistics nightmare that would have been impossible alone. When the ship finally received safe passage clearance, all 3 of them stood frozen, almost unable to believe it was over. Zara moved first, throwing her arms around Marcus without thinking. He held her tightly, and she felt the tremor in his chest. He'd been just as afraid as they were. Thank you, she breathed against his shoulder. Partners, he said simply. That's what we are now. Not business associates. Partners. Lyra joined the embrace, and for a moment, tea.
A new alliance. The final evening arrived with unexpected gentleness. The summit was over, the ship was safe, and tomorrow they would all return to their separate worlds, but something had shifted permanently between them. Marcus had arranged a private dinner on the rooftop garden, string lights glowing like captured stars above them. No business talk, he'd insisted. Just 3 people who'd become something more than colleagues. I've been thinking, Marcus said as they shared dessert, about what partnership really means. He looked at both sisters, vulnerability clear in his eyes. I came into this week expecting to evaluate you. Instead, you've both shown me what I've been missing: genuine connection, real trust, the courage to be honest even when it's terrifying.
Lyra smiled softly.
You've given us hope, Marcus. Not just for our planet, but... She glanced at her sister. For ourselves. We'd forgotten what it felt like to be seen as people, not just ambassadors. Zara reached across the table, taking Marcus's hand. The touch was simple but electric. So what happens now? Now, Marcus said, his thumb tracing gentle circles on her palm, we build something unprecedented. A real alliance, based on trust and... He hesitated, searching for words. Love. Lyra offered quietly. The word hung in the air like a promise. Marcus looked at both of them, Zara's fierce determination, Lyra's gentle wisdom, and nodded. Yes. Love. Not the kind that happens in movies, maybe, but the kind that's built through hard work, honesty, and choosing each other every day. As the stars emerged above New Singapore, 3 people from different worlds sat together, hands intertwined, building something that transcended treaties and trade agreements, a bond forged in desperation, strengthened by respect, and sealed with hope. The job they'd come for was nothing compared to what they'd actually found. Lessons from the stars. True partnership is built on equality, not power, on respect, not desperation. Love that grows through shared struggle and honest work endures longer than passion alone. Sometimes the connections that save us are the ones we never expected to find. When we open our hearts to trust despite our fears, we discover we were never meant to face the universe alone.